Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live. Talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynncullenshow@gmail.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
Yeah, that's me. I did my program. It'd be a Tuesday, and so without further ado, let me bring my kid sister in. That'd be Susan. Hi. Oh dear. That'd be Susan. Hi.
Oh, hi. I said hi. You didn't have me in?
No, it didn't work, but now it did. Hello.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey.
Good. My voice sounds less froggy on the second intro.
Yeah, it did. It did. So that's all good. Well. Let's just jump right in today, if you don't mind. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to avoid the heavy stuff like I usually do, or try to when you're here. Believe it or not.
Could have fooled me.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, but I actually do. Okay. So here's something that I thought was sort of funny. So apparently, the president is in a plane right now on his way to yet another international meeting, where I'm sure he'll embarrass us in some way. But there's a NATO meeting I didn't know about, and I'm surprised he's bothering since he doesn't seem to believe in NATO.
Well, I bet he wants to see whether those guys are more impressed with him now.
Yes, indeed. He's going in as a victor. And I do want to say, in regard to that if everything does unbelievably hold, as is the case as far as I know right now.
No, it worked out. I got it.
Maybe.
Thank you to our really well-trained military. It was a precision. These were two really, these strikes on Iran, it's hard to have a problem with.
Well, no, because nobody...
Aside from the fact that it was illegal and all that.
Yeah, but they didn't kill anybody.
Say.
They didn't kill anybody, as far as we know. Iran got everybody out of the facilities. They went in and destroyed the facilities. Or maybe.
Yeah, right.
Certainly they aren't as good as they were. And then I find what's interesting is Iran thus far merely did its very, weak attack on our base, giving warning again before so that we were ready and undercover. Nobody got hurt. We were able to intercept most of their missiles. What I thought was funny is it shows the sort of like the showman.
It's just sort of performative jousting.
That is correct. It's just, in that regard, pure performative. And clearly, at this point, Iran doesn't want to tangle with us, but needed to hit us. So the Iranian government, I laughed when I saw what they put out after their attack on the American base. They said that they had, quote, forced the enemy to regret and accept defeat and unilaterally stop its aggression. That's what the Iranian government put out. So fine and dandy.
Well, and their people, a certain number of their people reads that and believes it, and then the rest of it, read it and go, oh, yeah, right.
Whatever. But I think it's funny, kind of. I don't know. None of it's funny because we are nobodies.
It'd be funny, but it's not.
No, we're all nobodies watching the guys who, run the world, do their...
All these impotent old men playing with bombs.
Okay, so I saw that Trump, before boarding the plane, got really pissed because Iran apparently already broke his ceasefire and hit someplace in Israel.
Nobody's minding him.
And Israel was about to retaliate, and Trump went nuts and said to Israel, and here's what's funny to me. I mean, again, funny in a not ha-ha, funny in that I can't believe it. So Trump, I don't know if this is right before he got on the plane or he's on the plane, he talks to the Israelis. And here's how he talks to them. He talks to them on Truth Social. Now, that's his, right? He owns that, Truth Social?
Yeah.
It's like his Twitter. So
they announced a stock buyback today.
Yeah, okay. So he announces to, I mean, have we thought about how odd it is that the President of the United States, instead of talking to us or to in any normal way, just posts on his own
no, it should be
platform?
odd, Lynn, but it's not odd.
No, nothing's
That's
odd.
the thing.
No, nothing.
It's not odd at all.
Nothing's
it's the way things are.
Uh-oh,
that's not to normalize it. That's just to report.
You're reverberating again, I'm being told.
Oh, no. Is it just my naturally echoing voice?
No.
You want me to call back in?
I don't think it'll make a damn bit of difference. It didn't last time.
I can call on my cell phone.
All right, give it a shot.
All right, I'll go get my cell phone. I'll
Okay.
call back in.
Bye.
Bye.
So, guys, I don't think that'll make a damn bit of difference. So Trump puts on Truth Social, speaking to Israel, in all caps, do not drop those bombs. If you do, it is a major violation. Bring your pilots home now. He's screaming. And then he puts down Donald Trump, President of the United States. Now, guys, I gotta say that this is so, we're living in a world that's gone insane. And this guy is nuts. I'm just saying. Stop and think. He's talking to a foreign government. And he feels a need to say, Donald Trump, President of the United States. Let me see if Susan's called back. Okay, let me see. Susan, are you there?
I'm here. Is this better?
I don't know, but thank you.
I don't either.
Okay.
But I'm just going to change the subject for 1 second. It's because you keep calling me Suze. And I went to visit my younger granddaughter the other day, and the door opened, and there she was, and she said, "Hey, hi, Suze." And I went, "Hi."
Where did she get that? That's so odd.
Well, I think my daughter had a visiting college friend, and I think that's how I was referred to. That's my mom's name.
I see.
So
she called you Suze.
Right. Hey, Suze. I said, well, I like that. That was good because lately she's been calling me Nanny instead of Nana, which I do not like. So Suze is infinitely preferable.
Okay.
But
okay.
The father said no. Anyway.
What do you mean the father said no? I don't know what you're talking about.
He thought it was my granddaughter's father objected to.
That she couldn't call you by Suze?
Yeah, I said it's fine with me.
I mean, we called our parents Norm and Cheryl. not to their face.
Exactly.
No, not to their face.
Eventually.
Yeah, but
we
not
did,
when we were children. No, when we were speaking of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so here I just want to get back to this because then Trump, when he said to Israel, "Stop! Do not retaliate! Turn those planes around!" all in caps on Truth Social, he signed it, Susan.
Right.
Donald Trump,
Right, Donald
President
Trump,
of the United States. Then he hears a few minutes later that apparently Israel is not going to attack. He takes to Truth Social again, and this time it's not all in caps because he's calmer. And he said, "Israel is not going to attack. All planes will turn around and head home while doing a friendly plane wave to Iran." What the? Anyway, nobody will be hurt. The ceasefire is in effect. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Now, wait a minute. Thank you for your...
Who's he talking to?
No. Thank you for
This is like the commercial on television. Have you seen it where the guy finishes up a business meeting with, instead of saying goodbye, he says, "Love you"? And
well,
then
okay, because it makes no sense.
Look on his face going, it goes, why did I say that? Why was that the wrong closing?
But thank you for your attention to this matter is something you say, what?
Right, that's right. You write to customer service.
Exactly. Right. You're asking some business to do a little something for you. Would you please stop putting my newspaper in put it over here? Thank you for your attention to this matter. What the F? Thank God.
Well, the phrase drifted through his mind.
Oh God.
Yeah, has anybody noticed that in their spare time they tore up the whole rose garden?
Yeah, because no, he did, and put up those hideous flagpoles, and good God,
they paved over. Yeah, they paved over the rose garden. It was like flowers.
Yeah. Well, no, the roses are there, but the grass is gone, I guess. I don't know. You can fiddle a little bit when you're a resident in the house, but it is that whole property belongs to the United States people. And if he turns that anymore into some fucking Mar-a-Lago, well, again, it's the least of our problems at this point, but dear God in heaven. Okay. So, anyway, let's keep our fingers crossed that, in fact, the best of all possible results has occurred. We degraded.
He accidentally did something.
Maybe. It's what I was saying. It was what I was hoping for, but you never know. This is the Middle East. Never know.
God or goddess, whoever was feeling sorry for us and threw us a plum.
Well, let's hope. Let's just hope. If it gives Israel and Iran a way to back away, and it gives Trump this, he's been needing, something to make him feel better. Fine. I don't know. Maybe he's
next time we got to go rah at the military parade so he doesn't bomb someone else.
That's right. God knows. Dear Lord. Anyway, so right now as we're speaking, something else could be totally blowing up. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for your attention to this to this matter.
Yes.
Yes. Dear God.
Yours truly, Donald Trump.
President of the United States, lest you forget. Okay, here's something else. The fucking Supreme Court.
I don't understand. I don't understand how those people can say these things.
Well, they didn't say anything, right? There's no explanation. It's part of that, the emergency docket where they just say, well, all of us Republicans decided that
there were just them. Yeah.
It was just them decided that we can The government can
until it goes before the court.
Yeah, right. But for months and months and months, people can be grabbed off the street and put on airplanes and sent to gulags in countries that have nothing to do with these people. I mean, that are not their country of origin, where they are not citizens, but they have really, really good gulags. And the Supreme Court of the United States of America said, okay.
Okay. Not our people.
Uneffing believable. So the three Democrats, those are the ladies, Sotomayor, Kagan, and Brown Jackson, they were in the minority, literally and figuratively. And unlike the majority that decided it was perfectly fine what the government was doing, these three took the time to write a 20-page blistering dissent. And here's just one little bit of it. Apparently, the court finds the idea that thousands will suffer violence in far-flung locales more palatable. They find that more palatable than the remote possibility that a district court exceeded its powers when it ordered the government to provide notice to the targeted migrants. Unbelievable. Whatever. So this court is these six. And so here we have, I don't know. So whatever. We're merely pawns in their game. I've never felt so helpless. Did you see that horrific video?
Yes.
You know which horrific video I'm talking about?
You're talking about the man being beaten, who was
the landscaper. This landscaper.
The father of the military veteran, yeah.
Yeah, the landscaper who was doing his job. He's been here for 20-some years. And ICE thugs grab him. He tries to run. They grab him. They throw him to the ground. They beat him up a little bit. They pepper spray him. They dislocate his arm, shoving him into a van with him screaming in pain. And this man, who now the Supreme Court says could be, right?
Disappeared.
He could literally be disappeared to, who knows, Libya. Treated like an animal. This man has 3 sons. All 3 sons are American citizens, and all 3 are Marines. The father of 3 U.S. Marines. And that shouldn't even matter. But the reality is Americans have to know that the people that are being treated like this are not this guy has no criminal record at all.
Well, here's what, here's what MAGA says to that. Well, then why isn't he legal? He should have been legal. He should have bothered to get himself legal.
He has given this country 3 sons who have served it, who have put their lives on the line. Fuck their legality. All he's done is work hard, contribute to this country.
They do not see that human being as a human being.
Well, I got to tell you, anybody who doesn't is just the worst of
It's
humanity.
defective. Yeah.
Just unbelievable. And you know,
well,
if
if you ban empathy, that gets easier and easier, don't you think?
well, you said what did your daughter say about empathy, the lack of empathy that we're seeing?
Oh, it's the first sign of a sociopath.
That's not quite what you told me, but she said the lack means we're living in a country in which there's millions of people who are essentially heading into being sociopaths. When you could look at that and not have your reaction be revulsion. Unbelievable. Okay. But so here are the videos we're not seeing. Can I just share a few with you? In New Haven, Connecticut,
Sure.
masked men wearing no identification in an unmarked car, boxed in a woman's car as she left home to drive her children to school, dragged her out of the car, arresting her, leaving her children sobbing on the sidewalk with their grandmother who had rushed out of the house. You didn't see that video because no one had a camera, unfortunately. In Houston, Texas, again, masked men detained and deported the undocumented wife of an active duty Army sergeant after misrepresenting themselves to her as public safety officers and telling her that her car had been in an accident in the parking lot outside her work. The woman, who is now out of the United States, the wife of an active duty Army sergeant, had been brought to this country as a child. In New Orleans, ICE agents detained the wife of a Marine veteran who was in a green card proceeding because her mother had missed an immigration hearing years before, and it triggered removal orders against the entire family. In Nashville, Tennessee, an undocumented woman was detained by ICE while pregnant, suffered a stillbirth after allegedly being denied adequate medical care in ICE custody. In Atlanta, Georgia, an undocumented migrant who entered the country in 2004, 20 years ago, and has gained a large following as a reporter covering ICE raids, was arrested while reporting on a No Kings protest. ICE promptly detained him and has begun deportation. I could go on and on. This is the United States of America. Do you recognize it?
I don't. Why isn't anybody suing to make them take off their masks? How is this?
Oh,
legal?
I'm sure that.
I thought it was specifically illegal
Yeah.
to be masked.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Susan, it's like there's so many illegalities, and I'm sure they're being sued. They don't give a damn. Some court's going to tell them not to be.
No, and the people that are then the people that are following them and just trying to, let them know that people are watching what they're doing are getting in trouble too. I mean, there's just it's just that we've got here's the American Gestapo is an actually accurate term. That's what we got here.
Yep. We have jumped the shark. We are not in a constitutional crisis. We are in a full-blown authoritarian coup d'etat takeover.
Oh, we have been since day one. Yeah.
And anyone who's waiting for 3.5 more years to get rid of this guy is insane. because in 3.5 years, there will not be an election. There will be.
I just keep hoping that there are some, that there's a plot fix somewhere that I don't know anything about. I'm just terribly hopeful.
And if you can't imagine it anymore, man, you got a serious lack of imagination, because it's just right out in front of you now. You can see them declaring
I don't understand
a state of emergency.
A lot of the people that I know, I don't understand. I know a lot of people that voted for Trump, and I don't know how any of them can be looking at this and defend it in any way. And I don't see any of them trying. And what I'd like to be doing is hearing them say something, but I don't hear them say anything either. So my guess is they're still all in. This is inconvenient, but oh well, not them.
Yeah, until it is. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Hey, here's something else. God. So you know about this company, Palantir? Palantir, I think it's pronounced. Palantir Technologies. It's got a big contract from Trump.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's going to combine all that data that Musk and his Doge bros got. Remember, every time they went into a U.S. agency, they immediately said, we got to get on your computer. We need access to your computers.
Yeah.
They were taking all the personal data on every one of us that the government holds.
Of course.
Yes. Well, this is what was happening. And lest you didn't know.
Of course. What else did anybody think was happening?
Okay, so Palantir Technologies has been given a huge contract in which it will combine all of that data. And that data includes, by the way, our bank account numbers, medical claims, tax returns, Social Security information, everything. And
well, let me interrupt here just for a second. I mean, clearly the government always had this information accumulated on each of us, or it wouldn't be there to be thusly transferred. But the difference was that we had, at least most of us did, an inherent trust in the fact that the government was actually working for us, and there was a reason for them to have the information. Now that's all gone. Any suggestion of good faith on the part of this government is laughable.
Correct. So listen to this, Susan.
Is demonstrably false. So, yeah, now you should be worried because although they've always had this information, now they are right in front of our eyes doing stuff with it.
Well, it's never been compiled in a super database before, which is what they're doing. So they're going to have a true, ID, with a lot of information on every single one of us in one place. And I want to give you, Susan, you'll be surprised that there is actually a Republican member of the House who agrees with what you just said. His name is Representative Warren Davidson. He represents some district in Ohio. And because, he was a conservative Republican who's got it, always had it in his head that this kind of thing done by government is an outrage, right?
Right.
So he has actually said, what? This could be dangerous. And here's his quote. When you start combining all those data points on an individual into one database, it really essentially creates a digital ID of every one of us. And it's a power that history says will eventually be abused.
Yes.
It's what the Chinese have done for their citizens.
Yes.
It's what authoritarian regimes do.
It makes each of us trackable at any time through any one of a number of methods.
I want to tell you who's like major, owns a whole bunch of Palantir, major holder of it, maybe was in on its founding. I'm a little unclear. He is a guy whose name you've probably heard, a good friend of Elon Musk's, a good friend of J.D. Vance's, a man named Peter Thiel.
Oh, no, that's J.D. Vance's.
That's the guy who elevated
mentor.
J.D. Vance. That's the one who got behind him, helped him win a Senate seat in Ohio, and then introduced him and to Trump and made sure that he got his guy, J.D. Vance, one breath away from the presidency. So Peter Thiel has been on the inside of Palantir since its founding. And here's something I didn't know. Anyone who's like a fan of Tolkien's Lord of the Rings knows the term Palantir. Because in Lord of the Rings, a Palantir is something called a seeing stone that is used to distort truth and present selective visions.
I'm gonna throw up. Stop.
I'm telling you, we need to distort truth and present selective visions of reality.
So they're telling you what they're going to do, right?
Exactly.
With their name.
And
people are going to get disappeared. People will be dead and trying to prove that they're alive so they can get their Social Security, which is impossible now. Imagine what would happen then. Because they fooled with all that. You can't guarantee that anybody's information is correct anymore.
That's right. So anyway, anyone who knows Lord of the Rings and is knows the Palantir is really used to manipulate and deceive. And these guys, these tech bros, making this corporation, chose that name, Palantir Technologies. And what it sells something. It sells an AI-based data platform that allows its users, and its users are, guess what? Law enforcement, military, those are their big customers. And now, of course, the United States of America under Donald Trump, to analyze personal data, personal information, and physical characteristics. And Palantir technologies are used mostly to identify and surveil people. And all that information now is turned over to Palantir. Why is this story why is this, any of you who are with Susan, speechless, why isn't this being covered more so that Americans understand?
Well, why are like reporters leaving, television stations and stuff in droves because they're being interfered with?
Yeah. By the way, Peter Thiel, besides being the guy behind Vance, also is the guy behind David Sachs, who is another billionaire, and he is now Trump's AI czar. They're all of a piece, this whole crowd. Listen to this as if I haven't told you enough things that is going to make you freak. The CEO of Palantir is a guy named Alex Karp. And on an earnings call with investors earlier this year, he told the investors this, that Palantir wants, quote, to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it is necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them. That's a CEO on an earnings call? He, by the way, is the second highest paid CEO in the world next to Musk. He made $6.8 billion in compensation actually paid last year.
I mean, I feel like we're in like a really bad James Bond movie.
Yeah. Well, what's odd about it is that we do have all of this information if we want it. We're so understandably overwhelmed by it and in mourning and in fear as to where we're heading. And we're paralyzed and we have no power. Which brings us to, did you see what Liz Cheney put out?
No.
Wow.
I've retired. What did she put out?
Wow. I don't have time to share the whole thing with you, but it is mind-blowing. Hang on. She starts it as just screaming at Democrats. And essentially is telling Democrats, hey, this ain't normal. If you guys don't, grow a pair and then some and start fighting fire with fire and stop your gentlemanly crap and stop asking me for money when you're not doing anywhere near enough. What a warrior she is. I mean,
no, I agree with her. Every time I haven't given anybody money because, I mean, why?
Yeah.
I haven't seen you do anything except ask me for money. And anything that comes out of the mouths of these guys is just so...
Yeah. She says, I don't want...
Well, what do you want me to do? This is abnormal. I don't know what to do. Well, do something. That's your job.
So she says, I don't want to hear another polite floor speech. I want strategy. I want fire. I want action so bold it shifts the damn news cycle. Anytime I see something from the DNC, it's asking me for money. And then she says, she uses the word bullshit. She said, if you don't know how to think outside the box, if you don't know how to strategize, if you don't know how to fight fire with fire, what the hell am I giving you money for?
Exactly.
She says, we need action. And she even dumps on, she says, Bernie and all that, fine. It doesn't do a thing. She says, we're not even at day 90. Look at the disappearances. Look at the erosion of the judiciary, the press, our rights. If you don't stop this, we ain't going to make it another 1,460 days. And then she gives them a plan. Here's what you need to do. right now. And you want to hear some of this? Because
because we can be yelling at them to do it.
Number one, form a civilian-powered investigative coalition. She said, I'm talking whistleblowers, veterans, journalists, experts. Deputize them, build a real archive of corruption and executive abuse. Make it public, make it unshakable. Let the people drag this rot into the light. And if you can't hold formal hearings, hold informal public hearings. If Congress won't act, let the country act. Because at some point, these people have to be held accountable. And when that day comes, we'll need every name, every signature, every illegal order, every act of silence documented. We have to preserve the truth. You're preparing evidence for prosecution. The more they vanish people and weaponize data, the more we need truth in the sunlight. So that's our first thing. We need to have an organized, she's telling the DNC, stop running for re-election and do something like this. Organize this huge information gathering that will note everything and be ready to name names when we bring these people down. And she says this, join the International Criminal Court, like as a party. You can't control what the other side does, but you can control your own integrity, so prove it. Prove that you're the party grounded in law, human rights. If you've got nothing to hide, join the ICC. Show the world who's hiding bodies. Show the world where the buried bank accounts are. Force the GOP to explain why they'd rather protect a war criminal than sign a treaty. And while you're at it, publicly invite the ICC observers into the country. I mean, that's outrageous. That's Liz Cheney. 3, this I really like. Fund state-level resistance infrastructure. Channel your money into rapid response teams, legal defense coalitions, sanctuary networks, and digital security training. If the federal government is hijacked, build power underneath it. If the laws become tools of oppression, help people resist them legally, locally, boldly. This is not campaign season. This is an authoritarian purge. Stop campaigning. Act like this is the end of democracy, because it is. We will remember the warriors come the primaries. Fighting this regime should be your only marketing strategy. And let's be clear. The reason the other side always seems 3 steps ahead is because they are. They prepared for this. They infiltrated school boards, courts, local legislatures, police unions. They built a machine while you wrote press releases. We are reacting. They've been executing a plan for years. You should already be working with strategists and military minds on Project 2029. You should already be working for a coordinated long-term plan to rebuild this country when the smoke clears. And then she goes on to talk about what that project should be. Then she says, use your platform to educate the public on resistance tactics, leverage international media, stop hoping U.S. cable news is going to catch up or wake up. They're too busy playing both sides of fascism, she says. Make what's happening here a global scandal. Stop relying on platforms that are actively suppressing truth. Start leveraging Substack. Use Blue Sky. That's where the resistance is migrating. That's where censorship hasn't caught up. And if the mainstream won't carry the truth, outflank them. Get creative. Go underground. Go global. If our democracy is being dismantled in broad daylight, make sure the whole world sees it. And make sure we're able to say it. And create a digital safe haven for whistleblowers and defectors. Not everyone inside this fascist regime is loyal. Some are scared and some want out. Build the channels, encrypted, anonymous, protected. Make it easy for them to get out. And stop ostracizing the defectors. Everyone makes mistakes, even glaring ones. We're not the bullies. We're not the ones filled with hate. And it's not your job to shame people who finally saw the fire and chose to step out of it. They'll have to deal with their own internal struggles and the guilt. But they are outnumbered. Don't push them back into the crowd. We don't need purity. We need numbers. We need people willing to burn their red hats and testify against the machine they helped build. She's not done. It goes on and on. Do you believe this?
She's incredible. No, good for her.
Stop being scared to fight dirty when the other side is fighting to erase the damn Constitution. They are threatening to disappear Americans. And your biggest move can't be another strongly worded email. We don't want your urgent fundraising subject lines. We want backbone. We want action. We want to know you'll stand up before we're all ordered to sit down permanently. We need to be deafening.
That's about right.
Yeah. You still have a chance to do something historic, to be remembered for courage, not caution, to go down as a party that didn't just watch, but fought the hell back with everything they had. The clock is ticking and the deportation buses are idling. Liz Cheney. Telling us what effing wimps we are. Yep.
Yeah. Well, she is accurately describing my feelings when I wake up every morning and run my finger down 15 unasked for requests from all over the country for money. And, and then I hit my email and there's 150 more.
Yeah. I'm sick of it. I don't give either. I'm sick of it. It's not a time. If my money were going into setting up these resistance networks and things like that, I would give. But, she knows these Republicans inside out.
Yeah.
Obviously. Her daddy be Dick Cheney. Her politics are right. Wait.
But we've been saying forever what she said, that the problem is that, and how dare we be caught flat-footed when the plan from the 50s on has been so obvious, and they have just been quietly playing the long game until they controlled all these state legislatures and blah, 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 and now they're having their way with us. And we did, for decades, just let it happen.
That's right. Yep, we did.
And it was our naivete and our belief in the strength of a system that there was no more than a gentleman's agreement.
Yep.
And the fact that we know that now, and we also know that there ain't no such thing as a gentleman,
Let me get some callers in here. I just noticed. I'm sorry. Hello? Go ahead, please.
Remember how up in arms everybody was when, during Clinton's time, they sent forces at that cult in Waco, Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet, and everybody's, oh, that was such a violation and this and that. And, and not that I agreed with it, but I got it because there's some pretty nasty crap going on there. And now we're sending masked men to destroy families. And it's like, where's the outrage there? Are conservatives on board with this, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Well, they're not conservatives. They're not conservatives anymore. They are, because conservatives don't blow things up like they're blowing everything up. That's not conservative. Conservatives aren't
they targeting churches too?
Certain churches, sanctuary churches, yeah. As for their evangelical churches, not so much.
So what if, like what we're seeing in the news lately where, armed church members, protecting these people in their lowly white communities, what if in these targeted churches, they start having security? You see a masked man, and you just like shoot and stand your ground for God's sakes. And boy, let's see what happens then. Like, hey, we saw these masked men. Who the hell if they're ICE or not? Nobody knows. They don't identify themselves, right?
No,
I've been thinking that too. I mean, why wouldn't you, in self-protection, just take them out?
That's right. You don't know who they are.
Especially if they're coming down on a church.
Yeah, you got a bunch of white guys with a bunch of guns, it's no problem. And all of a sudden, if they're of color or have an accent, now people freak out.
Well, let's not avoid the obvious here, that this is an effort to rid the country of a lot of black and brown people. Correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Let's not avoid the racism here. Do you know, when you look at undocumented people or people who have overstayed their visas, who are here illegally, do you know what nationality has the most illegals here? Canada.
Poland.
Canada, probably followed by a lot of other European white countries.
They aren't Chicago.
They aren't going after them.
European.
They aren't going after them. That is not what this is, and we need to call that out too. It's racism. It's white America. It's the fucking losers of the Civil War who haven't stopped the fight since then. I'll give them that.
I did not know what you just said about the guy having three children in the Marines. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
You think about it. He is already he's already given more to this country.
Yep.
In a short period of time
than I have.
What Donald Trump ever did.
Well, than I have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Donald Trump. How many deferments did he get? And
how many of his kids are? Yeah. Yeah.
It's sad. I don't know how you can't die fast enough. I'm sorry.
Well, I agree.
Yeah, but it's not just him. It's not just him. Quite obviously.
But let me ask you. I know it's not just him, but I don't see anybody rallying behind anybody else in this group. And he is unique in that people love him. Nobody's talking about, oh, I love Giuliani or whatever crazies they got. in the cabinet. I think he is unique for some strange reason. So
But
I don't know if there's anybody.
But the reality is they're consolidating. They're consolidating power, and they're altering the checks and balances and the safeguards that were in place. So you don't necessarily need a well-loved person coming after him. You just need somebody who will exercise the power.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
I mean, people hate
Yeah,
J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is next in line, and if Trump dies, J.D. Vance is the president of the United States, and that should make your blood run cold.
yeah, is it? But yes, but it wasn't that long ago when a lot of these guys who are working for him were just bad mouthing him, knowing he was a lunatic. But somehow they decided to get on the bandwagon. Do you think there's any chance they might go back to being a normal person again? Not that J.D. Vance was ever normal, but like Marco Rubio, oh my God, I mean, you know,
No,
I thought he was crazy. He's normal
no,
now.
I don't know if I go that far.
no, he's not. He's a coward and an aider and abettor of this coup d'état. No, anyone working for these people.
They're all cowards. They're all cowards. The ones who are left now.
Yep.
It's amazing to me. It's really amazing to me that they are so willing to publicly humiliate themselves daily. That's how panic-stricken and terrified they are.
Which should tell us all something. If the people closest to this
who know them best are
that afraid, then being afraid
waking up
must mean they truly, genuinely fear for their lives. These guys are killers.
Yeah, okay. It's just it's got something so simple is now seems really complicated.
Well, I don't know.
How do you get out of this?
I don't know. I don't know, but you stop acting like things are in any way normal, and you start telling our elected leadership that they've got to stop acting as if things are normal. They've got to think outside the box. They got to listen to what Cheney's telling them. They've got to, or we're finished. God.
Yeah, and this is where, where's George Bush and all this thing,
Where's George Bush? Where's Barack Obama?
Yeah,
I mean, he talks good. This is no time for talk. I want a lot more from him. I'm not hearing. I ain't hearing shit. I can say what he's saying. What good does that do?
Well, if you're like me, you're getting all sorts of texts and emails from the Democratic Party asking for money.
Yeah, and I'm not giving them anything.
Where's your money? Well, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah, they're going to ask for more money.
They're going to run for re-election.
Yeah, they're acting as if
they're
sick of it. Just sick of it. Okay, listen, guys, we're thanks. Appreciate it. We're out of time.
All right. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Oh man. So Susan, I didn't get to the the one story I am not following at all, and if you'll watch the regular news, it's always up there, and I don't give a shit. Is this Sean Combs trial?
Oh, it's so disgusting. Who can watch?
Yeah, who can even? I mean, what?
It's just a world I don't even care about. Disgusting.
Well, the more we know about the world of the rich and famous and powerful, the more vile it appears.
And depraved and disgusting it is.
Yeah, so
And no place to be an unpowerful man or woman. You will each be abused in every way you can think of.
Yeah, it's a good time to just be a regular person, I guess. I don't know. Son of a bitch. Okay.
I mean, I don't know if what he's guilty of what, of the massive criminal enterprise, but he sure is guilty of just being a one hell of a disgusting excuse for a human being. Oh.
Okay.
So, there's that.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
I'm being told Snopes is saying Cheney didn't write it. Ha!
Who wrote it?
I don't know. Well, I got that from Robert Wright, and I thought he would have done the due diligence before sending that on. Son of a bitch.
Well,
I don't know
this
who
person is telling the truth.
I don't care. Whoever wrote it, they're right.
Is correct.
They're right.
That's right.
Son of a bitch. But thank you for that, Tracy. Damn it. That's what I'm saying. I can't. Everything. I hate it. I hate it. That you don't know. You can't trust anything anymore. We're doomed. Goodbye. I'm finished. I really am. I don't like purveying false information. Although that was not false information, the author of it was incorrect. I was incorrect. Son of a bitch.
Maybe.
Huh?
Maybe. How do you know?
Because I do trust Snopes.
How do you know that?
I trust Snopes.
Okay.
All right. That's that. Thank you.
Snopes. Okay.
Everybody stay cool.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye. Huh. Did
Okay,
I say bye. Did I say stay cool? What a joke. Okay.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.